Smoke clings to the air, thick, bitter, suffocating. It rolls upward from burning naphtha pots and smoldering wood, stinging the eyes, choking the lungs. The pounding of horse hooves echoes off stone walls, sharp and relentless, blending with the restless whinnying of animals starving for grain. Then come the voices, harsh commands shouted in a foreign tongue. The crack of whips slices through the chaos. And then you see them. Hundreds of women. Their veils torn, their faces smeared with ash and tears, driven forward like livestock into the open square. Some are barely more than girls. They tremble as rough hands grab, inspect, divide. One soldier seizes a young woman by the arm and drags her toward his tent. She stumbles, crying out, but her voice disappears into the noise. Nearby, another group is separated, the daughters of nobles. They are handled differently, reserved, not spared, just claimed by higher-ranking men. Their fate isn't random, it's assigned. Around them, the conquerors laugh. Their eyes gleam, not with madness, but with expectation, spoils of war. But this is only the beginning. What follows isn't chaos. It's something far more terrifying. It's a system. What you're about to hear involves enslavement and sexual violence against civilians, especially women. These events are recorded in historical chronicles, and they are deeply disturbing. If you need to step away, that's completely understandable. But if you stay, we're not here to sensationalize suffering. We're here to understand how it worked. Because this wasn't random brutality. This was a machine, an engine of empire, powered by terror, fueled by human lives treated as currency. In the spring of 1220, as Mongol forces surged into Central Asia, the city of Bukhara stood in their path, a jewel of the Silk Road, a center of learning, trade, and culture. And it would become something else, a proving ground. Genghis Khan, the self-declared scourge of God, didn't just conquer cities. He dismantled entire societies. Survivors weren't spared. They were repurposed, turned into tools for the next conquest. His sons, especially Tolui, carried out his orders with ruthless precision. Every victory wasn't an end. It was fuel for the next. The Khwarezmian Empire, ruled by Shah Muhammad, had triggered this storm through arrogance and betrayal. What happened in Bukhara mattered, because it became the blueprint. A pattern repeated again and again, across decades, across continents. It erased cultures and built the largest land empire the world had ever seen. But to understand how this machine worked, we have to go back. Long before flames touched Bukhara's walls, the seeds of destruction were planted far away, on the vast Mongolian steppe. Genghis Khan wasn't always Genghis Khan. He was born Temujin around 1162 into a harsh world of tribal warfare and shifting alliances. His father was poisoned by rivals. Temujin was left behind, an orphan, hunted, abandoned by his own people. He survived by adapting. At one point, he was captured and enslaved, but he escaped. And slowly, through cunning, alliances, and sheer force of will, he rose. By 1206, he had united the Mongol tribes under one banner. They named him Genghis Khan, universal ruler. But his true power wasn't just military, it was structural. He built a system, one that rewarded loyalty over bloodline, one where merit determined status, and one where terror wasn't just a byproduct of war, it was a strategy. His army, roughly 100,000 strong, moved with terrifying speed. Mounted archers who could strike from distances their enemies couldn't match. They lived off the land, traveled light, and hit like lightning. Before a battle even began, fear often did half the work. Then came the spark that would ignite everything. The Khwarezmian Empire stretched from the Caspian Sea to the Indus River, a wealthy, diverse region shaped by Persian, Turkish, and Arab influences. Its ruler, Shah Muhammad, saw the Mongols as nothing more than uncivilized barbarians. In 1218, a Mongol caravan arrived at the border city of Otrar. 450 merchants. They came for trade. Instead, they were accused of spying. The governor, Inalchuk, who also happened to be the Shah's uncle, seized their goods and had them all executed. Genghis Khan responded with diplomacy first. He sent envoys demanding justice. Shah Muhammad answered by beheading one envoy and humiliating the others by shaving their beards before sending them back. It was more than an insult. It was a declaration. "They have chosen war," Genghis Khan said, "and war is exactly what came." Historians estimate that the invasion that followed may have killed millions. The exact numbers are debated, but the scale is undeniable. Genghis mobilized his forces, dividing them into coordinated wings. He took the central route himself, alongside his youngest son, Tolui, a commander in his 20s, already known for ruthless efficiency and brilliant strategy. Together, they crossed mountains, deserts, and frozen wastelands, surviving blizzards, enduring thirst, moving in ways that stunned even seasoned observers. Their first major target? Otrar. They besieged it for 5 months, and when it finally fell, Inalchuk was captured. His execution wasn't just punishment, it was a message. Molten silver was poured into his eyes and ears, a symbolic retribution for greed. The city was destroyed, its people either slaughtered or enslaved. And just like that, the pattern was set. Resist and be annihilated. Submit and be used. That was the core of the machine, and Bukhara was next. Shah Muhammad ran. As the Mongol advance tore through his empire, he abandoned city after city, leaving chaos behind him. Leadership fractured, defenses collapsed. His mother, Turkan Khatun, tried to rally what remained, but the machine had already begun its work. The Mongol army split into multiple forces, moving with terrifying coordination. Genghis Khan and Tolui drove straight toward the heartland, and ahead of them stood Bukhara, an ancient city, over 1,500 years old, a center of Islamic scholarship, its skyline pierced by towering minarets, its streets alive with merchants, scholars, artisans, markets filled with spices and silk, libraries overflowing with knowledge gathered from across the world. Nearly 300,000 people lived within its walls, and yet, beneath the surface, tension lingered. Shah Muhammad himself had once sacked the city, leaving scars that never fully healed. So when word spread of the Mongol approach, fear mixed with resentment. Then came the impossible. In early 1220, Genghis Khan made a move no one expected. He led his army across the Kizilkum Desert, a barren expanse believed to be impassable for large forces. But Mongol scouts had already mapped hidden wells. They knew the land. So when they appeared outside Bukhara, it was like ghosts materializing from nothing. The city's defenders, led by a Turkish general named Kokan, numbered around 20,000. They marched out to meet the invaders. It didn't last. Mongol archers struck fast, surrounding and cutting them down with precision. Thousands fell in moments. The survivors fled back behind the city walls. Inside, panic spread. For 3 days, the Mongols encircled Bukhara. Their camps stretched to the horizon. Siege engines rolled into position. Catapults hurled stones. Arrows darkened the sky. Kokan urged resistance, but the people were tired. tired of war, tired of rulers who brought destruction to their doorsteps. On February 10th, the gates opened. Genghis Khan rode in, victorious, Tolui at his side. The outer city surrendered. But the fight wasn't over. Kokhan and a few hundred loyal defenders barricaded themselves inside the citadel, the inner fortress. They refused to yield. So the Mongols adapted. They turned the city's own people into weapons. Civilians were forced forward, driven to fill moats, to carry siege equipment, to climb walls under fire. Defenders inside the citadel were forced to strike down their own neighbors just to survive. It was psychological warfare at its most brutal. Then came the fire. Naphtha pots ignited. Flames spread rapidly through the wooden homes. Entire districts burned, smoke choking the sky. For 12 days, the siege dragged on. Then the citadel fell. Kokhan fought to the end, but it made no difference. His forces were overwhelmed. Afterward, no male taller than the height of a whip's handle was spared. Historians estimate over 30,000 were killed, though the true number may never be known. And in the aftermath, the sorting began. Zara had grown up in Bukhara's golden world. Her father was a merchant who traded silk from China. Her days had been filled with poetry, quiet walks in gardens, dreams of marriage to a young scholar. A future shaped by learning, stability, beauty. All of that ended in a single moment. When the Mongols stormed the city, she hid with her family. But there was no escaping it. They were dragged into the open. She watched as the men, her father among